podcast. As always, I'm your host, Liberty, and with me is...
Fawwaz Muhammad Yusuf.
And yeah, we're back. We're at podcast 101, and today we're going to talk about Dark Souls 3 DLC. We're going to talk about Square Enix and Crystal Dynamics making a Marvel game. We got Tekken 7 gets an official release date. We got the Sci-Fi Souls game, The Surge, release date and trailer. And we've got a bunch of Mass Effect Andromeda trailers, and yeah. But before we get into that, let's talk about what we played this week. So, I jumped back into XCOM 2. So I was playing a lot more of that, and I was mostly jumping back because I really I hadn't finished my second playthrough, so I was kind of just blowing through all of the main story missions and getting all the stuff done. My gear is super strong at this point, so...
the game's pretty much a breeze.
Well, it is and it isn't, because the part that gets me are the gatekeepers. The gatekeepers are rough to fight. And the other thing that I actually had a lot of trouble fighting was I had a fight in which I was fighting a gatekeeper that was floating up top of a building. So he was really hard to hit, like as far as line of sight goes.
Yeah.
And he was guarded by 2 snipers. So...
Snipers?
Yeah. I don't know when they got added. It could be just a mod that I have on that I just didn't remember installing. But I have them. It's basically the snakes. There are different versions of the snakes.
Mm.
And one of the versions of the snakes is a snake that has a plasma sniper rifle. And
oh, yeah. I think that's a mod.
Yeah, those guys are fucking hard to deal with. But the one thing that, and this is why I've never taken off the armor, all the Alien Hunter armor, so like the Muton armor, the Archon armor, and the Snake armor, it all causes panic on their selective enemy type. So I was able to panic one of them. But it took me a while to figure out how to kill them because, like, literally it was like, all right, get behind cover, and they were not missing. That was the thing that was bothering me. I was in full cover and they were not missing.
Did you ever research Blue Screen Protocol?
Blue Screen Protocol that's the support ability that.
No, it's a Proving Grounds project that gives you access to blue screen rounds and the EMP grenade.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, the EMP grenade does massive damage to gatekeepers, and it shuts them down for like 2 turns.
I have used the EMP grenade a couple times, and I use blue screen rounds a lot. And honestly, those are some of the strongest upgrades you can get in that game because you're gonna be having the most trouble with the synthetic guys, in my opinion. But yeah, no. I do realize that like there's a lot of ways I could make it super easy, but I just found it was like, oh my god. I'm excited because when I finish this, I'm gonna probably start a 3rd playthrough, and I'm gonna play through the DLC, the 2nd DLC, which is Shen's Last Gift, I think.
Yeah. It's not the greatest. The new unit is garbage.
I mostly just want to play it just for funsies.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when I played Enemy Within. It's like I knew that the mech Titan things weren't the greatest, but I still had fun using them.
Yeah, what difficulty are you playing on?
Oh, I'm playing on normal. I'm a fucking scrub. But I'm gonna probably play through that, and also I'm gonna download that what was it? Johnny 5? Yeah, I want that mod so badly. J Streets knows what I'm talking about, but I want that freaking mod immediately when I start my new game.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's just a 90s movie with a talking robot, and the design looks exactly the same.
Oh,
and it's pretty funny. So anyway, I played that, and then obviously played a bunch of Overwatch because of the Chinese New Year event. So that was a lot of fun. We got to try out a bunch of new modes. I tried out Capture the Rooster for a little bit.
Yeah, I hate that mode.
Sorry?
I hate that mode.
Oh, yeah. It's fine. The problem... and they've stated that the mode is not balanced. Like it's meant to be like a kind of like goofy, like kind of just do whatever mode. And it's I find that it's kind of one of those modes where it's like you need sort of team coordination, but it's also like you have to have Tracer, or you have to have. I find that the winning teams always have like a Tracer and a Lucio, like those are two heroes that you have to have on your team, or else you're gonna get your freaking ass kicked. But then the problem is that some games are actually not are pretty fun, where it's like, all right, you got you Tracer and Lucio and your Diva or whatever, and it's the mobility heroes are the ones that are being used. But then you get other games where it's just you've got a freaking Torbjorn that's just sitting in the back playing defense, and you just have to deal with the fact that I'm gonna have to like kill all the turrets as quickly as possible. Like it's an okay mode. I wouldn't exactly say it's the greatest. I preferred the snowball mode. Like the snowball mode was still probably my favorite so far. Or well, at least tied with the Junkenstein's Revenge.
Yeah.
But all the skins that got released and announced are fantastic. I love all the little. I love all the skins. Like I love Roadhogs. I love Zenyatta's. They all look freaking fantastic. I was lucky. I did get my Diva skin, but I bought a bunch of packs, so that's how I got my Diva skin.
How do you not have enough credits to just buy these skins when the events start?
Because I buy things over time. Like I bought a skin for Roadhog, then I bought a skin for Symmetra, and they're usually when I buy a skin, it's usually a legendary. Like I'll buy the shark skin for Roadhog, or I'll buy the god skin for Symmetra or something like that.
I haven't bought a non-seasonal skin probably since Zen got buffed.
Mm-hmm. Which one do you end up getting?
Oh, the one that I use, the raw skin.
Oh, okay.
I just always save all my credits. I'm like, well, like these non-seasonal skins, I can always get them. Mm-hmm. But these seasonal skins, I have like one time every year to get them. So I just save up all my credits for the seasonal events. Oh, no, that's not true. No, it is true.
Well, it's funny because like for me, it's like I end up spending credits for the seasonal events on the epics. But I just don't see myself spending 3,000 on one skin. Like it doesn't seem efficient to me. Whereas I will spend 750, no problem. That's perfectly fine with me. But I don't know. Overall, I'm really enjoying the event. And that's pretty much what I played this week. I was being a nerd and I played a bunch of D&D. And it was pretty fun. I can't believe how we finished the base campaign that we were doing, Curse of Strahd, and I can't believe one of the characters ended up finding a sword with a wish spell, and it kind of fixed the big fuck up that we made.
Oh, so, the vampire?
Yeah, well, basically what happened was that when we pissed off the vampire, he kind of set a vampire legion to kill everyone in the country, and even though it only took us like about 3 hours to beat him in game time, that was still enough to kill a lot of people. And luckily, when he found this sword with a wish in it, he actually wished for everyone to come back, so he pulled a Dragon Ball Z. And sorry,
I said retcon.
Yeah, retcon basically. And I was like, all right, I don't feel guilty anymore about my poor decisions, so there we go. So I thought that was pretty freaking hilarious. But yeah, no, that's basically what I played this week. What about you, Fawwaz?
I pretty much just played Overwatch. The Chinese New Year event is in full swing, and I found a decent group to be playing with. So I played a lot of ranked, actually.
Ooh,
I played a bunch of ranked. I have some ranked matches that I'm going to be posting on the channel. I finally decided to start learning Reinhardt because, well, I played a bunch of ranked games, and you pretty much always need a Reinhardt.
Reinhardt's good.
Yeah, like a lot of people have been complaining about Reinhardt because you pretty much always need a Reinhardt. And I'm a bit split on the Reinhardt situation. I don't know if he needs to be changed or if there's just not enough other. Because and this is what I always argue with you about is that like Roadhog, D.Va, Zarya aren't primary tanks. You know, like you can't play against a good team with Roadhog, D.Va, or Zarya as your main tank. You'll get hooked, sniped, shots. It's just earth shattered. It's just it's just no. So then it's so like part of the problem I think is that it's because similar to when the game first launched, if you remember, Mercy was one of the most popular supports in the entire game, and people were like, "Oh, Mercy's too strong. Mercy's too strong." Even I was amongst those people. I was like, "The Mercy's too strong," and then. They nerf Mercy, they buff Zen, and then they add Ana. And now people are like, Mercy's too weak, Mercy's too weak. And I'm amongst those people that's like, okay, so Mercy wasn't too strong. It's just that she didn't have any competition. When the game launched, Zenyatta was actual garbage.
Yeah.
So it was literally just Mercy and Lucio.
Yeah.
And Lucio just cannot heal tanks. It's just not it's not one of his job qualifications.
Yeah.
So it was just Mercy, because you're always going to be running the tank. So Mercy was the best healer for that. But now you have Ana with her unbelievable healing, and then you've got a Zenyatta who isn't garbage. All of a sudden, Mercy doesn't seem as overbearing and overpowered as she was before.
Yeah.
And I feel like maybe that's the same issue with Reinhardt right now. Is that it's not that Reinhardt is too strong, it's that Winston isn't strong enough, and Winston is literally his only other competition for that spot.
Yeah.
Like
when you're thinking about like shield cover. Like, Winston and Reinhardt both have, like, they drop a little... Winston drops a bubble, which is good for defense, and Reinhardt has the shield.
Yeah.
So, but Reinhardt's shield is just really, really useful for a multitude of situations. So, it's like, no, I know what you mean.
But then the one thing, and this is one thing that I do think is an imbalance with Reinhardt, is that his ability, his ultimate Earth Shatter is insane. It's so powerful, which is fine. Like Zarya has an insane ultimate. Mercy has an insane ultimate. Like that's perfectly fine. My issue with Earth Shatter is that the best answer to an Earth Shatter is a Reinhardt shield. And I feel like that in itself is poor design, That is, I feel like that is one of the main reasons why you always, because one of the games, spoiler, one of the games that I'm going to post on the channel, these dudes were pushing into me without a Reinhardt. And literally every time they pushed in, I earth-shattered and killed all of them.
Yeah.
It's just, because if you don't have a Reinhardt, and, this goes back to my point, if you're running, I love Zarya. You know how much I love Zarya. But if you're pushing into Hanamura with Zarya as your main tank, you are all going to die if they have a Reinhardt. He's going to drop the hammer, and literally all of you are going to die. Same with Roadhog, same with D.Va. Winston can kind of block it. Like when I play Winston every now and then, because you can react, right? Because Reinhardt has to drop his shield to Earth Shatter. So you pay attention to the Reinhardt. Right as he drops his shield, you drop your bubble, and you block it. But he can bait you then. just drop his shield, you drop your bubble, and then he breaks your bubble, and then drops the hammer.
So, there you go, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, because I do that to Reinhardt. I, like, drop my shield, and then they think that, oh, he's actually dropping his shield, and they try to Earth Shatter me, but then I put my shield back up because it was a bait, and then it's like, yeah. So I feel like that is one thing that if they're ever going to look into Reinhardt, I feel like that is where they should start, with Earth Shatter. Because I think everything else is fine. I feel like everything else about Reinhardt is fine.
Yeah.
I think Winston probably needs a little bit of help. Nothing, like, you need to be careful buffing Winston, because Winston, similar to D.Va, is a low mechanical skill hero, and you don't want to overdo it with low mechanical skill heroes, because like dying to a Winston who, if you make Winston too strong, he becomes very frustrating to play against, because he doesn't have to aim. He just stands in front of you, holds his gun, and presses forward. And that's a very frustrating way to die for anyone. You just feel like, okay, what did this Winston do? He didn't deserve to kill me there.
Right.
So, but that's another story for another day. Overwatch, I've been playing a lot of ranked. It's been a lot of fun. I flip-flop between Reinhardt and Zarya. Zarya is obviously my primary character, but every now and then my team needs a Reinhardt, so I've been learning Reinhardt, and he's a lot more fun than I thought, and there's a lot more nuance to playing Reinhardt than I originally thought. Like the shield game, like I mentioned, baiting, because you can like you drop your shield for like a split second, and then the other team thinks that, oh, he's dropping his shield, and they try to go through it, and then you put it back up. So you bait them, and you make them waste their cooldowns. He's pretty cool. He's fun. I'm liking him. He's a lot of fun. So yeah, that's what I've been playing.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, you ready to get some news?
Yes, let's get into some news.
All right.
So the first bit of news is Dark Souls 3. We finally got our final DLC for Dark Souls 3, and it's called The Ring City. It comes on the 28th of March, 2017. Mm-hmm. It's going to cost $15 US, so it's probably going to be about 50 in Canadian. And they also announced that there's going to be a Game of the Year edition that launches on the 21st of April, 2017. So you're a resident Dark Souls specialist, although I'm seriously considering taking that title away from you, just FYI.
But really?
How did you feel about
this? Mister, I haven't played the first game.
Yeah, well.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't say I was gonna give it to me. I said I was gonna take it away from you.
Oh, okay. That's different. That changes the context completely. Honestly, I don't even deserve it. If anyone deserves it, it's freaking Alex, because he knows way more than I ever fucking. It's weird because I know more about the lore than he does, but he knows way more about like the game mechanics than I will ever will.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But yeah, no, this trailer was pretty cool. Showed off. Well, honestly, it showed off the coolest place in Dark Souls 3, which is that warped place near the end
of the game.
At the end of the game, and I remember seeing that and going, this place looks fucking sick. I'm so sad that we don't get to explore it. And now we do. So I'm super excited for that. Somebody mentioned that it is essentially what it looks like it's going to be, is that that area is like the entire Dark Souls universe is imploding and on itself, into itself. Because the way the buildings are kind of curving into each other and kind of just a jumbled mess, that's what it looks like. So, like, a lot of people are speculating, because this is going to be the final DLC for Dark Souls, and technically the last thing that comes out with Dark Souls, if, From Software are true to their word, it's going to be like an homage DLC, in which all of the little levels that you go to, all the levels and areas that you go to are probably going to be homages to stuff throughout the series.
Oh, okay.
So that is a possibility, or it could be just something completely new. Like, I would be happy with either, to be honest. Boss looks pretty cool. I hope it's not the only one, because the demon kind of bat thing looks kind of cool, but I kind of want to see like a important Dark Souls character return as a boss. That would be really interesting to see.
Okay.
Like, I was ecstatic when I saw Eldridge, because I was like, wait, what is he doing here? And that was really awesome. But I am curious how this DLC is going to go, how it's going to end. The only thing that from what I'm guessing, is that it's probably not going to be that long.
You say it's probably going to what?
I don't think it's going to be that long. For whatever reason, because the first DLC was kind of short, but it came with the PvP.
Yeah.
I was a little bit less critical. I was still critical of it, but I was still like, okay, you know what? It came with this really in-depth PvP mode. Even if the DLC itself, the single-player content, is short, at least the PvP mode is much more improved by this DLC. But I don't think we're going to be getting anything similar to this, so I hope that it's longer and has a lot more bosses, because realistically, the last DLC only really had 2 bosses, and one of them was kind of meh. So I hope that... Well, one of them was meh, and the other one was fucking fantastic. So I do hope that there are more than 2 bosses. I'm hoping for 3. I think 3 would be a solid number. But I don't know. But what did you think of the trailer, or what they've seemed to have shown so far?
Well, the trailer looks cool, but like, I'm just at the point where I don't care about From Software's DLC anymore. I didn't like the Bloodborne DLC, the old Hunters. I haven't heard good things about Ashes of Arandale.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm just at that point where I'm like, okay, cool. So the Ring City is just gonna be another disappointment, which impresses me because I'm like that. Yo, From Software are such talented developers. I don't understand how a developer that makes games as good as From Software's games can make DLC as bad as From Software's DLC. Because the
It,
old
yeah.
Hunters it was so underwhelming. It just wasn't fun. That's really the only way I can describe it. I mean, it added a lot of cool weapons. I loved the new weapons that they added in the old Hunters,
Mm-hmm.
but the actual boss battles, there was nothing. Lady Maria was amazing, but other than that,
Oh, no,
Ludwig.
Ludwig was great.
There was a cool little Easter egg at the end of Ludwig and stuff. The Forgotten Ones, or whatever they are called, were not fun. They were like just a terrible, lazy boss. And then what's his name? The
What?
first Vicar he was just. I mean, for God's sake, they reused the assets for the cleric beast, and I mean, sure, I'm sure it serves some like story purpose, but it still sucks. I'm sitting here like, okay, there's only 5 bosses in this game. Did you really have to reuse assets for one of them?
No, I know what you mean. But personally, as someone who's played through a lot of the DLC, because I'm assuming you've only played through Old Hunters.
Yeah,
That's the
Old
only
Hunters.
DLC
Yeah.
you've played. I find that with From Software, it's not that they make bad DLC. It's just that their quality of DLC is inconsistent. Um, the Dark Souls 1 DLC, fantastic. Fucking 10 out of 10. It's awesome for on so many different levels of what it adds to the lore and the level itself. Um, Dark Souls 2 DLC, the first two were kind of meh, but the third one is has my favorite moment in the entire series.
Mm,
So it's that was a fantastic DLC. Old Hunters was kind of like you said, middle of the road, kind of not great, and Ashes of Ariandel was another middle of the road, kind of not great. So I hope that we get a I hope that we get a knockout like Dark Souls 1 or Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls the third Dark Souls 2,
yeah.
because that's the thing is that I always get ticked off when people say like all of Dark Souls DLC is garbage, and I'm like, no, not all of it is garbage. There is really solid DLC. The problem is that a lot of the DLC unfortunately becomes kind of mediocre, and that is a problem when the base game is so strong.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know if that has to do with like this is just sort of side idea, so they don't get enough time to really cook, or if it's just sort of like this is the B team working on this stuff. And I hate to say this, but the B team is obviously not as good as the A team. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
For me, like I guess because like when I think of DLC for RPGs especially,
Mm-hmm.
I think of the Shivering Isles. I think of um, Dragonborn. I think of DLCs that they just add a lot of extra stuff to the game. Like full on When I think of DLCs for RPGs, I think of expansion packs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when they announced the Old Hunters, I was hoping it was going to be like an expansion pack level DLC, and it's something that you can beat in like 5 hours. And I'm like, that's just not acceptable. Then Ashes of Arandale comes and people are like, it's even shorter than the Old Hunters. So, and like I said, obviously I can only base my opinion on what I played, right? I didn't touch
Mm-hmm.
Dark Souls 1, didn't touch Dark Souls 2.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never going to touch Dark Souls 2.
No, I know. At this point, there really is no reason to go back to Dark Souls 2 unless you're curious. Like, I would say you should go back and play Dark Souls 1 because of how much of a context that will make some of the other games, like especially Dark Souls 3. Having Dark Souls 1 as a context changes the entire game.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, with this, I hope this is going to be a more substantial expansion. First of all, like a big area, and then something that like adds to the rest of the game. Like the PvP thing. I thought that was a really cool idea. So something along those lines. Like you look at Blood and Wine. Blood and Wine added a house. It added new features that you could use. Outside of the story that it added and the side missions that it added new like actual things that you can use. It added the house. You could grow your own plants. A brand new faction in Gwent.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping for something as substantial as that. But Blood and Wine is one of the best DLCs in a very long time, if not ever. So that's a tall order. So I guess I shouldn't be expecting them to top that. But just give me something bigger. Give me something meatier. Like you give me these big meaty games, and then you give me this short DLC, which is now made worse by the fact that in Bloodborne anyway, you had to wait until you were like level 70 before you could play the DLC. And anyway, now I'm just rambling.
But
looks
yeah,
good. The trailer was nice. The music was nice. Let's hope for a much better DLC.
Yeah, I'm just hopeful. I'm probably still going to be picking it up because I want to know. I want to know where it's going to end up, and I will be giving my critique on it probably when I finish it, whenever it comes out. But next, we have something freaking weird. So Square Enix and Crystal Dynamics released a teaser for an upcoming Marvel game. So this is bizarre to me.
Unfortunately, we have no footage whatsoever. They just released a poster with the Avengers sign, #reassemble, and then Square Enix, Crystal Dynamics, and Eidos Montreal. Shout out to Montreal at the bottom. So it's gonna be. They did release some details. So first of all, more information is a long way off. I was actually second guessing even talking about this on the podcast because it's going to be so long till we hear anything about this game. But hey, we spoke about Cyberpunk 2077, so all bets are off now. We're gonna get more information in 2018, which is actually not that far off. Because I'm still in 2016 mode. So when I see 2018, I'm like, oh my god. But 2018 is only next year, so that's actually not as far off as I originally thought. And then they released a nice big quote for us. The Avengers project is being designed for gamers worldwide and will be packed with all the characters, environments, and iconic moments that have thrilled longtime fans of the franchise. Featuring a completely original story, it will introduce a universe gamers can play in for years to come. More details on the Avengers project and other games will be announced in 2018.
So honestly, I'm very intrigued by what kind of game this is going to be. I mean, it's a good developer. Eidos Montreal and Crystal Dynamics, they've worked on, particularly Crystal Dynamics, the last thing that they worked on was the Tomb Raider games, the new ones. And the Tomb Raider games are actually pretty solid. They're a really solid action-adventure game. So I am curious what they're going to bring with this. It's just. I think it's just weird because I find it so weird saying Square Enix next to Marvel.
This is true.
It's a weird thing to hear.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was a time when Capcom next to Marvel was a weird thing to hear too. So
Yeah, I guess that's true. So I don't know. Like I am really curious what kind of game this is going to be. Is this going to be like an action game? Is it going to be an RPG? Like, is it gonna just be, I don't know, a text adventure? So
unfortunately, there's just no way to know. Like, we can only speculate, and if I was going to guess, considering that they'd be designing this game to reach the maximum audience, they'd probably pick a genre that is more mainstream. So if I had to guess, they'd go with the ever open action adventure. So something. Whatever. This is pointless, actually. We shall see. We shall find out in 2018, and you bet your ass Game Smash will be the first to cover it because we have that exclusive access.
We do.
But yeah, this is interesting stuff. I'm glad to see Marvel branching out and trying something a little. Whatever the game ends up being, this is different. You don't hear about these kinds of team ups between comic book companies and collaborations between comic book companies and video game developers very frequently. So I'm really curious to see what this results in, and I'm curious to see how it goes.
Yeah, like I am excited because them getting the license will be very interesting for sure. But yeah, no, definitely interested. But next on our list, we got Tekken 7 gets an official release date for June.
Sorry, are you asking me?
I'm asking you. I'm
June
pretty-
2nd,
June
2017.
2nd,
For God's sake, Tanner, read the cliff notes.
I'm reading the cliff notes, but when I was reading them, oh god damn it! I just have to scroll a little to the right.
Like, back in my day.
Back in my day, we read the cliff notes on a piece of paper before we did our goddamn podcast.
And we had to, whatever. So Tekken 7 launches on the PC, PS4, and Xbox One on the 2nd of June 2017.
Yep.
And so I guess they were a little ambitious when they said early 2017. But yeah, they announced a cool looking special collector's edition. It comes with a nice statue of Heihachi and Kazuya.
Yep.
A steel bookcase because that's standard soundtrack, and day one edition. I'm guessing the day one edition comes with some kind of DLC. But yeah, they also released a cool story trailer. It's this, as the marketing has been very direct in pointing out that the story of this game revolves around the tenuous relationship between Kazuya and Heihachi. And the trailer has, reiterated as much. It's pretty much the culmination of that story. So one or both of them are probably going to die at the end of this. It wouldn't be the first time Kazuya died, so
He's gonna die again.
Yeah. But yeah, this is interesting. I used to be really interested in Tekken's story. It got kind of convoluted after Tekken 4, because what happened was that in between Tekken 2 and Tekken 3, they killed off a lot of characters.
Right.
They replaced them with brand new people. They killed off Kazuya, replaced him with Jin. They killed off Bayek, replaced him with Hwoarang. They killed off Martial Law, replaced him with Forest Law. Removed Armored King, replaced him with King. No, that's actually not true. There was always King and there was always Armored King. However, the point is, when Tekken 4, and then more specifically Tekken 5 came out, they brought a lot of the old dead characters back. So the story and everything, it just became, the cast became bloated and the story became convoluted. Is pretty much where I'm getting at with all of this. So I've kind of lost interest in the story after Tekken 5, but I might check this out just to see how this ends. Tekken 3 was one of the first fighting games that I really, really got into. I mean, never competitively, obviously. I was 10 years old.
But still.
But I this was gonna have a special place in my heart, Tekken 3. So by extension, the Tekken franchise. But yeah.
Yeah, I have to give them credit because it seems like it's going to be a really good game overall, and I am interested that because they have delayed this game for a lot longer than certain other games have been delayed. And I have to give them credit where it seems like they're taking their time and they're going to release this properly, so that's great. I don't know. I am very curious to see how it does. Because honestly, I'm always glad. I'd love to see this game take off and be this is the grand revival of Tekken. Because I know Tekken's not dead or anything, but I don't know if it's as
It's not as popular as it used to be.
As it used to be. I think that's what I think. So I'd love to see a resurgence for sure. So yeah, definitely interested. So June 2nd, 2017.
June 2nd, 2017. Yeah. The Mishima saga comes to a close.
Okay, I have to ask, is the bear going to be in this?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, as long as the bear's in the game, that's fine. Because the bear is my favorite character.
Yeah, he's an integral part of the Tekken franchise. And, I can't imagine us having a Tekken game without him.
Oh, God, he's the best. But next on our list, we've got The Surge, as many have called Sci-Fi Souls.
Sci-Fi Souls, this surge. So this was actually announced a little while back. I started following it, checked out some footage, and I looked up the developer, Unit Deck 13, and it's the dudes that did Lords of the Fallen. So my hype for this game went, all the way down when I realized that. However, and then with Neo coming out in February, my hype has definitely gone completely out the window. However, the setting is cool. It's Dark Souls. This game is Dark Souls. Like if you Google sci-fi Souls, I think this game comes up. But the key gimmick is that decapitation. One, he can actually weaken enemies' limbs, and then the other one is that he has this power armor that he can upgrade and take parts from different enemies to put into the armor, and the game looks good. I'll give them that much. The game looks very, very good.
Honestly, it looks like a vast improvement over Lords of the Fallen, to be honest.
Yeah.
And it looks a lot more interesting. Because I think one of the things that people complained about Lords of the Fallen is that the game was focused on really heavy characters. So your characters you didn't even have any variety in the sense where you couldn't go really fast. It was you better slow, trudging characters, because if you don't, you're going to have a bad time. So honestly, the setting also looks a lot more interesting. But it's one of those things where it's okay, you guys did Lords of the Fallen, and that was considered mediocre at best. So, I don't know. I would love to see it okay, maybe they learned their lessons. They took the criticisms from Lords of the Fallen, and they're going to fix all the problems, and they're gonna learn from their mistakes from that game, and hopefully come into this game with a different view. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that that's the case, because, honestly, and now that Neo, the more that I see Neo, the more I'm I want to see more competition in this particular type of game.
Yeah.
Because we're going to get some really awesome shit.
Yeah. One thing, sorry, we actually forgot to mention the release date. So we don't have a date specifically, but it's coming out in May. At least right now, it's slated to come out in May, and we're going to be getting more information on the 1st and the 2nd of February at Le What's Next de Focus in Paris. So there you go.
Yep. I saw the enemy designs look okay. Because that's the thing that these. Neo had some really awesome designs, right? As far as and this is the thing where games like Lords of the Fallen and Surge really need. It's you can have really solid gameplay, but if the enemies or the bosses aren't intriguing enough design wise, it's gonna get boring really fast. So I really hope that they have some cool designs. Like that dog. That dog was pretty interesting. The Robo Dog, the way it moved and whatnot. I was fine with that. But the thing that I always loved about Dark Souls and Bloodborne is that the bosses are so fucking cool.
The bosses are pretty cool.
And that's always almost the game's reward is you fight through the difficult levels and enemies and pitfalls of the actual level just to get to the bosses because of how cool they look. So I hope that we see some more interesting designs. But I'm cautiously optimistic for this game because it's sci-fi related. So I hope that they learned. I really do. They hope that they learned.
And it's
please. Honestly, I've been highly debating whether or not I want to pick up Neo, and I think I might because I know that I really want to see the competition, And from people who told me that the game was, they did realize how freaking ridiculous the difficulty was in the first alpha, the one that you played. That they reduced the damage on things. So I am kind of excited to give it a shot. Give it a second.
Well, if you pick it up, let me know. Let me know what you think, and maybe I'll pick it up too.
All right. But yeah, that's Sci-Fi Souls. So lastly, we got two trailers for Mass Effect Andromeda. We got the story trailer and we've got the crew trailer. So it seems like now we're finally getting the trickle in of like trailers for Mass Effect.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like the game is launching in 2 months or anything.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. We talked about this multiple times where it's like, where the hell is all the trailers for this game? Like, I'm kind of shocked. This is EA, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I'm shocked and honestly a little worried by how little we've seen of the game, considering the game is coming out so soon.
Mhm.
But then the one thing that quells my fears is the fact that we know this game has been in development for a very long time.
Mhm.
So that does give me confidence. But that said, I'm not buying this game. You know me, you know Mass Effect.
No. I know. You had a really bad experience with one.
Yeah,
I totally
but yeah, in terms of the story trailers, it sets things up well. They're like an exploration crew looking for a new habitable planet. They run into some evil dude. I forget his name. Kronos or some shit like that.
Something like that.
Sorry?
Yeah, I think it's essentially like a new alien race. Like,
Yeah. The one thing I just want to say about this trailer, there's one moment in the trailer where the dude is like, I don't need an army, I've got a Krogan, and I was like, oh my god, that's too awesome.
Yeah, that is very accurate. That is very see, I want the one-liners. I want because there are some amazing one-liners in this game. And
Yeah. I love me
I,
some one-liners.
yeah.
There's also this character that looks like what's her name from House of Cards, Claire.
Oh yeah. She really does.
Yeah, she's got the hair and everything. And they also released the crew trailer. The crew trailer was kind of disappointing, to be completely honest, because like what I've always liked about the crews of Mass Effect, and obviously this isn't the entire crew.
Yeah,
I know that.
Yeah. Okay, I was
But
gonna say
what I've always liked about the crews from Mass Effect was how racially diverse they were. Because that racial diversity and Dragon Age actually that racial diversity led to a lot of the comedy in between the characters.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But like we're looking at this trailer, and literally every character that they showed was a human being, and I'm like,
I understand the reasoning, because this is essentially, I think what they're setting up with that trailer is that it's one of those weird like info
infomercial type trailers.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And it's basically like, these are all the people that were sent from Earth. Like these are all the people that were thrown into the cryopods, and they were specifically sent to explore Andromeda. And I'm assuming that this will be your starting crew. But like I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably gonna be way more intrigued and interested to the crew that gets added later on. Like we've seen the Krogan. The Krogan is definitely going to be a part of the crew at some point. We know that there's that female Turian. She's definitely going to be part of the crew at some point. I am curious. Like I said, I want to see other races become crew members in this game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have to agree that them showing only the humans in that trailer was a little bit weird. But like I said, like I'm curious. I'm still hopeful, because there was a lot of human characters in Mass Effect that I actually really liked, and I liked their dynamics, and I liked how they interacted with other characters. I really liked how everyone thought Miranda was a bitch. and how and I also, because Miranda is actually really surprised. I didn't really like her that much at all throughout Mass Effect 2, but her backstory made me a little bit more sympathetic. And then there was actually DLC stuff that hinted at stuff in her past that made me go, okay, that's why she acts like that. Okay, all right. So that, like, I was pretty impressed with some of the stuff they've pulled off. But yeah, the story trailer looks pretty cool. I like that new race. They had like tendrils. I don't know how to describe them.
The pink one.
The pink one, yeah.
Yeah.
They looked really cool.
Yeah, they look pretty cool.
And because I'm excited, because the thing about Mass Effect is that we didn't really, after 2, we didn't really get to see any new alien races. It was basically all the ones that had been established up to that point. Yeah. So I'm excited to see what the new alien races are going to be and act like. So I'm super jazzed for that. I don't know. I am actually pretty happy with the fact that even in the story trailers, they haven't exactly given they haven't spoiled the plot, you know?
Yeah.
Because that's something that would be game ruining. Because this is like a very plot the Mass Effect games are known as like having big plots, right? So I'm like if this game like spoils the entire plot, like if the trailer, because that's something that I hate when trailers do that, when they just
Yeah.
spoil the plot completely. I would I'm it would be terrible. So I'm glad that they didn't do that with the trailers. I'm glad that they're kind of keeping quiet over what actually happens in the game, but giving you
Yeah.
little bits and pieces. But honestly, it looks good. But yeah. Unless you have anything else to say, because I've been rambling on for some time.
Yeah. No, I got nothing else to add.
Okay. Then with that, we'll go to our question of the day from the wonderful J Streets. Thank you, J
That's Jay
Streets.
Street. So our question of the day this week is an easier one. How much does tilting affect performance when gaming? A lot.
Yeah.
We just keep the answer simple, and no. Tilting is one of the tilting. I think hurts people's progression in games more so than skill, in my humble opinion. Anyway, I think tilting is one of the biggest detriments towards getting better in a game, because when you tilt, like all the other bad follows. You tilt, you lose to somebody, and then you're like, oh my god, this guy is so scrubby. Oh my god, my team is so scrubby. And in that moment, there is no self-reflection. You're never stopping and thinking, maybe I shouldn't have charged into. Maybe that charge I made that caused my entire team to get earth shattered and team wiped, was it the best idea? No, instead you're thinking about the fact that this dude picked Bastion, this dude picked Widowmaker. Oh my god, this Hanzo is so terrible. Yeah, at the end of the day, we all do it. Literally everyone tilts. Like there isn't a single person I've met, no matter how calm, that doesn't. Because I mean, we're human beings, we get angry. And like that's the thing, is that it's that's the irony of the situation, is that you want to win, and it's that drive to win that makes you better, but it's also that drive to win that makes you angry when you lose. So yeah. When you lose, so then when you have that passion and you lose, it develops that anger, and then you just gotta make a conscious effort. And this is something that everybody has. This isn't me on a soapbox, pointing fingers. This is something that everybody has to do. I have to do it a lot. You just gotta make that conscious effort to decide that no. And this is, I can't remember who said it. There was some Reddit post. There's some post I saw on Reddit that I've tried to live by. Obviously, I don't. I falter every now and then, but it's like I just don't pay attention to what your teammates are doing wrong. Unless you're actually going to give the person constructive criticism, don't pay attention to what your teammates are doing wrong, because it does nothing except make you angry. Period. Like if you're solo queuing, nobody has mics on, and your mate keeps doing bad ice walls. That's like my pet peeve. That's like my biggest pet peeve right now. It's just terrible ice walls by mates, because I'm like that. The word should be out by now, but it isn't. Your mate keeps doing bad ice walls. You constantly fixating on the fact that your mate is doing bad ice walls. It's only distracting you from the things that you should be doing properly. Right. While you're fixating on the bad ice walls that the mate is making, your Mercy is being dove by Genji.
Yeah.
That's
yeah. Like, it's basically like you want to focus on what you can do to fix the problem, or what you're doing wrong, and try and adjust accordingly. Like, because tilting usually leads to what I'm doing is perfect, but it's not working, so I'm going to continue to do it because eventually it will work, right? And that never is the case. Like, you usually have to adjust no matter what. And I know there's the idea of like, but sometimes when I get really mad, I get stronger. And I'm like, dude, not everyone is a Super Saiyan. You can't just scream and go a couple power levels. But like, no, it's not It's not gonna work like that. And honestly, like you see, like how I play Overwatch. Like even though we lose, or even if we ended up losing the game, I'm like, okay, what did we do wrong? All right, I did that. Okay.
And it pisses me off. Like
Sorry.
it pisses me off how calm and and happy he is all the time. I'm like, for God's sake, get angry, Tana. Like we just. Oh my god.
Well, honestly, like with Overwatch, I'm just like, all right, I lost. Damn, that sucks. I still gained experience though, so I'm that much closer to a loot crate. So I can't even get mad because I get more mad when we disconnect and I get nothing.
Oh, boy. Talk about priorities.
Well, it's one of those things where it's like, honestly, like even with a game that I lost, I go, okay, did I at least have fun during that game? Then yes, then I'm fine with that. Like I'm sort of weird in the sense where I prefer the really long close battles to the complete stomps.
Yeah,
Because
I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel you on that. Like, if you lose, and that's the thing, right? Is that like when I lose a game? Okay, here's the thing. I'm a very competitive guy. Period. It's just my nature. It's how I've always been. It's how I mean, at this point, I'm 27. It's how I'm probably always going to be. I'm just very competitive. So I'll just never be okay with losing. That's just never going to be a thing for me. However, I do try, because at the end of the day, it's still a video game. And the point of a video game, last I checked anyway, was to have fun. So yes, at the end of the day, when it gets to the point where I'm like, it's destructive, I'm giving myself a migraine because of how angry I am. I'm like, dude, you need to calm your ass down. Like this is just a video game. Or like, in those games where you play a really close game, and you played your best, but you just got outplayed. Like you're sitting there, and then they speed boost the McCree, he flashbangs over your shield, and the Reinhardt earth shatters you. That's just a really good play.
Yeah.
Like, okay, sure, my Zarya should have bubbled me, you damn bitch, but it's still a really good play.
I think our message is being a bit skewed by this.
Sorry?
I think our message is getting a bit watered down when it's like, sometimes you just have to be calm, except when your Zarya is a stupid bitch and doesn't bubble you.
I'm kidding. I love you, Zarya. I never say that about you. But but you get what I mean. That's just a really good play. If the team doesn't play like that, there's only so much you can do. And like it's harder. Like for me, it's easier for me to stay calm in 1v1 games because I know. Like in Guilty Gear, when I lose, I always know it's my fault. There's nobody else to blame. Like I can't blame my controller. I can't blame, especially because I play offline, so I can't even blame the lag. It's like we're on the same console, dude.
Yeah.
So I tilt a lot less in Guilty Gear than I do in Overwatch. But in Overwatch, you just have to keep reminding yourself, okay, you know what, I'm not perfect. Sure, my Mei keeps doing stupid ice walls. Honestly, one of these days I'm gonna punch it. Anyway, my Mei keeps doing stupid ice walls, but like I'm doing something wrong too. I wasted my bubble there as Zarya. My positioning that's one thing, and this is one thing. So just a quick aside. This is one thing that this is just directed at supports in general, right? Because one of the people who tilts the most and gets the angriest are supports players, because they're always like, oh my god, my team isn't defending me, my team isn't protecting me. But then it's like that, okay, well, you told us you are being dove by the Tracer when you had 10 health.
Well,
what did you expect us to do?
Yeah.
So like in a situation like that, it's like, okay, cool, my positioning could get better, and my situational awareness could get better, so that I'm calling out the Tracer before she's on my ass and has almost killed me.
Yeah. Well, it's weird that you say that supports are the ones who tilt the most. And I kind of find that, yeah, there are definitely supports that tilt, but I honestly, at least in the games that I've played, like when I'm comparing this like League and Overwatch, it's usually the attackers or the ADCs that I find tilt the quickest.
Yeah, because for me, the way why I say that is that because like support players know enough to know when a game is going poorly, but in some situations they know when. How do I phrase this properly? So when you pick a support, you are playing for your team, right? Like you it's very rare that you find a selfish player who picked supports. It's just very rare. I had a game yesterday where this idiot picked Ana and went to DPS, and he was busy sniping the other team, and I left in the middle of that game because nobody got time for that. But I guess I'm basing mine off Reddit, right? You see a lot of threads in Reddit of support players complaining about just everything. Oh my god, my DPS is always out of position. That pisses me off too. Like whenever I'm playing Zen, I've just decided that I'm never going to jeopardize my positioning to save a bad DPS ever again. If you are out of position, you're actually just going to die, and that's the end of that. My tank isn't protecting me properly. Oh my god, why did my Reinhardt drop his shield? I got sniped, and I feel like it's because supports players need a lot of help from their team, especially Mercies. You need help from your team. Like Lucio is Lucio. He's like the most independent. He just does his own thing and doesn't care, right? But Mercy and Zen, when you are being like soloed out by a tracer, when there's a tracer on the other team that's like, that Mercy is mine, it can be one of the most frustrating experiences.
I know that feeling. Like it's like every time I'm playing Mercy and then the Tracer's on the enemy team and then Tracer goes for me immediately, I'm like, shit, please help anyone. And
then you see, and then when your team now isn't helping you, that's where that rage that I was referring to comes from. So maybe them tilting the most, whatever, But you get what I mean, though. Is that like?
I agree.
That was the example that I was referring to. But yeah, tilting is bad. Tilting is bad. Don't tilt. I mean, you will.
It's hard. Like honestly, like I would say that when I was a lot younger, I tilted way more often.
Oh my god, I wish I could see this. Angry Tanner.
But it's weird because honestly, like it's honestly the things that get me mad are when. Like that's the thing. Like even though it's weird. When I lose in Overwatch, because I know that I'm gaining experience, I'm getting closer to a loot box. Whatever. Whatever. That like I'll take a lose. Whatever. Can I learn from it and do better the next time? Whatever. The times that I get really mad is when I've done a lot of work to do something, and then I lose it. Like, this is something that happens, like, with, like, for example, I was frustrated to all hell when I was playing Persona 3, and I couldn't get to a save point in time, because I wasn't safe anywhere, and I lost about an hour and a half of grinding. That, I got mad. Because I'm like, that's an hour and a half of work just completely wasted, and I'm just gonna have to do it all over again. And like that's when I will tilt and get super mad and pissy is when I've completely lost progress. Like as long as some progress is being made, even if I lose, I'm a little less angry. But if I lose progress, that's what gets me.
That makes sense.
But I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I'm kind of weird like that. But also, I don't really play that many team-based games, to be honest. Like, I play League occasionally, and I play Overwatch with you. But other than that, I don't really play that many team-based games. So, I usually play single-player games. which is weird. Because, it's like, I had a complete flip where it's like, I barely touched any, like, online team games for the longest time until I bought my PS4. So...
Yeah, well, the PS3's online was pretty bad.
So maybe that's why. But anyway, I think the moral of the story is don't tilt and try and learn from your own mistakes and improve on them. And that way you will get better, and that will lead to more awesome games and less bad ones. So there you go. I think it's the best answer I can give. But yeah, great question, Jay Streets. Keep them up. And if you got a question, don't forget to leave it in the comment section, and we'll make sure to answer it in the next podcast. And as always, this was your host, William Liberty, and...
Fawwaz Muhammad Yusuf.
And we'll see you guys next time. Take care.